Okay, so for this activity, you are not only going to be calculating density, mass, or volume, you are going to color each substance and fill up this graduated cylinder according to the densities. So let's read the direction first. In a density column, the densest substances are located at the bottom and the least dense is located at the top. So that is your biggest clue to know what do you put on the bottom. You're going to put the one that is the most dense. And I'll give you a hint. It's this guy right here, mercury. Notice the density is 13.5 grams per milliliter. So I know this is going to go on the bottom. Okay? So that's one clue. And then you're going to go up from there. If added in the correct order, the density column will have distinct layers for each substance because you can use different colors. Use the information to fill in this density column in the proper order with the proper volume. Clear substances have each been dyed a different hue or different color. All right, so I'm not going to do this whole thing, but I'm going to get you started. Here's our equation right there. Density is mass divided by volume. But I want to remind you of the triangle that I've showed you. And you might want to write this on some piece of paper somewhere. But hang on, let me do that different. You have a triangle. And I'm going to divide it like this. I'm going to put density is mass divided by volume. So if I want to calculate density, you put an X over here, then you've got mass divided by volume. Okay, so that's pretty easy. If I want to calculate volume, I put an X here, and I've got mass divided by density. So volume is mass divided by density. Volume equals mass divided by density. So we got another equation from that. Okay, so let's take that out. If I want to calculate mass, cover that up or cross it off. Mass is density times volume. So from one equation, we have three different equations. And this triangle kind of helps us remember all of that. All right, so the first drop, this is going to be colored green. So change my color to green. So when you color this in here, you're going to color 50 milliliters. So this is divided by 50. So this is 50, that's 50, 50, 50. So it's done by 50s, okay? But we don't know what the density is. So it's salt water, so it's not going to be very dense. It's not going to be towards the bottom. All right, so we're calculating density. Well, density is mass divided by volume. So our mass is 57.5 grams divided by 50 milliliters. Okay, this one was easy. You get this calculation, get your density there so you can compare it to the other densities. I'm not even going to do that one because it's too easy. Okay, but let's look at this one where we are not calculating density, we're calculating mass. We've already been given the density. It's 0.79 grams per milliliters. What we need to calculate is the mass, and they've given us the volume. I don't have much room on this paper, but actually, let's go to the next slide. There we go. Zoom it up a little bit. All right, so this is ethyl alcohol, has a density of 0.79. And the volume is 100 milliliters. So if we go back to our equation, let's bring up our equation again. Density equals mass divided by volume, okay? And if I make my little triangle, density is mass divided by volume. All right, I'm calculating mass. Cross that off. So mass is density times volume. Okay, so I have the density, which is 0.79 grams per milliliter. And I'm going to multiply that by 100 milliliters. our milliliter unit cancels out and we will be in grams, which is what we want to be in because grams is the unit for mass, which is what we have to calculate. So at this point, it's 0.79 times 100. I'm going to let you get that number out of your calculator and put that right here. And remember to have a G on the end of that number. So for each of these drops of water, you're going to do a calculation. You might be calculating density, you might be calculating mass, or you might be calculating volume. Once you get all your calculations done, then you're going to decide what goes on the bottom, what comes next. You're going to put them in order of the most dense to the least dense. And what I did when I did this, I just numbered them. So I knew this one was going to be number 1. So that went on the bottom. All right, and the volume we have to calculate, so I don't know how much to color right now until you calculate the volume. Remember, volume is mass divided by density. So you all have a lot of work to get done with these 3 worksheets, and I think I have done enough examples. So at this time, you need to practice. So when we have a quiz on this next week, you will be able to calculate density or mass or volume.